Be live. We are live.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you, Mel?
Good morning to Diana Weng. It's so good to
Good
see you.
morning.
And
Thank you.
you're in Los Angeles.
I live near San Francisco in Foster City.
Okay, so for Israelis, it's San Francisco and Los Angeles are only 6 hours away from each other.
Yes, true.
Next door neighbors.
True. And 1 hour flight.
Yeah, and it's 6 in the morning in your part of the world.
Yes. And how about for you?
It's 4 in the afternoon when
Oh,
we still have a good bandwidth for going live on Facebook. So welcome to You've Got Mel, and we're going
thank
to
you.
start. We're going to start unless you want to sing me a jingle. We are going to start with my jingle, uh,
Okay.
and we always start with my jingle.
Sure.
It's like one of these professional things. It
I
took me,
like that.
yeah, it took me so long to write it, and
Wow. Congratulations.
thank you. Here we go. You
Okay.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Is the video ready? Come on, video. Do your thing. Why is my screen showing? Okay. Get a chair, grab a seat, or we'll sweep you off your feet. We move, you got Mel. Ease your legs, rest a while. All you gotta do is smile. We're swell, can't you tell you got Mel? When the show begins, you better hold on her tight. Or before you know it, you'll be high as a kite. Take a break, settle down. We're the only show in town. That's our road, don't you know you got Mel? Give it up, don't think twice, or a hurricane on ice. What the hell? Give it yell, ring your bell, show and tell. Mademoiselle, give it smell, you got Mel. You got Mel. And
Woo!
Mel
I
has
came prepared.
thing. Yes. So you are a polymath. You do so many things. I call you whisperer to the stars, but that's only part of the things you do. So why don't you start at the beginning, and I'll stop you every 2 minutes and pretend that I'm asking a question.
Sure. Sounds good. My name is Diana Weng, and I am an actor, a dialogue coach, translator, acting coach, mother of three, a connector, a mentor, advisor, counselor. um, so I worked with Jackie Chan for 20 years on maybe 15 or 16 projects in films all over the world. This journey first started when I was living in Los Angeles, trying to work as an actor.
No,
My
Diana,
manager.
go back. I want you. Where were you born? Where are your parents from?
Oh, okay, sure, sure.
Like in the sound in the what's it called? The movie with Julie Andrews. Um, the hills are alive with the sound of music. Okay, that's how I remember your name.
Okay, sure, sure.
Start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
Okay, I like that. I was born in Taiwan, and at the age of 5, I came to America. My family owned a restaurant in San Francisco in the Castro district. So I grew up in a gay neighborhood. All our customers were either drag queens or they were very, very flamboyant customers. So I learned at a very early age that the world was made up of different kinds of people and very glamorous ones too. From there, I went to college at Berkeley, and that's where I met Gino, one of your
Okay.
guests.
Yeah. So let's
Yep.
thank Professor Gino Yu for bringing us together.
Thank you, Gino. Yes. Um, in college, I took some acting classes and I really enjoyed it. And from there, I did some college productions, and Gino was a part of that because Gino provided music for us, original
Oh wow.
music. Yeah. Um, and after I graduated, all my friends started to get work, and they all got agents. So I did the same. But everyone was moving to Los Angeles, so I decided to follow everybody else. Within a year, I got 2 agents and a manager. And my manager was the one who reached out and said Jackie Chan was coming to town to make Rush Hour. And he needed help teaching, learning English. So I went to a meeting, and I didn't really expect to get the job because I figured he's so big. I'm going to be one of a million people applying for the job. and my Chinese was not that good. He speaks both Cantonese and Mandarin, and I learned both languages, but at a second grade level. So I went into the meeting. I figured it doesn't hurt to go, right? And I thought maybe I'll meet with a producer who doesn't even speak Chinese. But I was so wrong, because in comes Jackie Chan and his entourage. And I went, okay, for sure, he's going to know how bad my Chinese is. And this interview is not going to go well. And that's what happened. I walk into the interview. And there were like maybe 10 people there. Director, producers, him and his entourage were all there. I started speaking to him in Cantonese because I know he's from Hong Kong. And he said, "Where did you learn that from? It sounds so strange." And I said, "I learned my Cantonese from San Francisco Chinatown." And he said, "When you speak Cantonese, you sound like you're in pain." He said, "Don't speak to me in that language again." I went, okay, so I guess he thinks I don't speak it well. And I'm not surprised. So I spoke to him in Mandarin, and he said he could kind of understand me, but it was still pretty bad. So suddenly the conversation shifted to fight scenes in a jail cell. And I sat there for the next 45 minutes while he talked about fight scenes and how he was going to choreograph it. And I thought, did they forget about me? Why am I still sitting here? And I was thinking maybe I should remind them that I'm still here. But I kept my mouth shut and waited for them to finish talking. And then somebody said, "Oh, you're still here? You can leave." I went, okay. So I gathered my stuff, and I knew I said nothing memorable. There was nothing I need to keep them all. Welcome to America. And then I left.
Okay, we might have missed this because you froze on me for a second.
Okay.
So just as you were picking up your bags and about to leave the room, and to count this as a disaster, what happened?
I opened the door. I was half out, and I turned back and I said to Jackie in Mandarin, I said, "Those ideas for the fight scene in the jail cell is so funny. You have to keep them all. And welcome to America." And then I left. And then 4 hours later, I got a phone call and they said, "You got the job."
What?
Yeah, that's what I said too. I'm like, why would he hire me? He insulted me. He said my Chinese was bad, which is true. Why would he hire me? And I didn't say enough to make myself stand out. And now looking back, after having worked with him for 20 years, I think it's because he likes it when people speak up, even when he doesn't ask you for your opinion and may not appreciate it. The fact that you're willing to say something when nobody has asked you is something that's kind of unusual in his circle. In his circle, often people don't speak unless spoken to. So I think that's partly why, and also because he likes to give opportunities to new people.
And did you ever have an opportunity to speak to him about that? Did your relationship ever warm up to the extent where
I didn't ask him why he hired me, but he said he liked me, and I think he once said something like, "I look very innocent." So I didn't look like a wild party girl.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know whether you are a live party girl. This is the first time we're meeting. Um, there you go. But he saw you perhaps as a straight shooter, especially for a guy like Jackie Chan. Straight shooters are hard to come by.
The funny thing is, many years ago, my friends told me that I looked like his wife. I have met his wife, and I don't think so, but I guess I look more like her than Kermit the Frog. I don't know.
So you're as close to Hollywood as I'm probably ever going to get. What's it like? You have an IMDb profile for being in dozens of movies. People don't see you, but you're right there behind the scenes.
It's a very interesting experience because it changes from one set to another. It all depends on the director. The director sets the tone. My first film was Rush Hour, and that was with Brett Ratner, and we made 3 films with him. He was a very young director when we started, and he came from the music video background. So around him, you always felt like there was a party going on. In comparison, my last film with Jackie was The Foreigner, which was directed by Martin Campbell. And he directed 2 Bond films. And on Martin's set, it's a completely different experience because he takes his job very seriously. He's on the set before the crew, and he sits there and he thinks and he concentrates. And on his set, everyone has to be breathing at the same time that he's breathing. Nobody chit chats, nobody fools around. We're all focused on what he's doing. And it's exhilarating because I've never experienced that before, but so rewarding because the Mel,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
No, it's an exhilarating experience, and then you said something and I missed it.
Oh, I said it's exhilarating because everyone's giving their all to support him. And his vision is so focused and so powerful. We all kind of jump on board to support that. And it's exciting, really exciting environment to be.
And at the same time, so you kind of gave up an acting career to become an acting coach and Jackie Chan's I call it whisperer, right hand person. Um, and how does that feel?
Um, yes and no, because I was not always working with him. So when I wasn't working with him, I was back to acting. And
Okay.
sometimes on his films, I got roles. So
Oh,
I'm in a
really?
couple of his films.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I am. If you in the film The Medallion, I'm an undercover garbage lady.
Do you have lines?
Yeah, in Chinese and English.
Okay, okay. Can you give me something in Chinese for our viewers here who don't speak Chinese,
Okay.
other than ni hao?
Okay. This is the moment in the film when I'm crossing the street as an undercover garbage lady, and a car almost hits me.
That was
That
very
was
good. I don't have anything to compare it with, really. But
that was. What are you doing? Are you crazy?
it sounded very ominous.
Thank you.
So that's so you've been in the movies, and you've coached other famous actors.
Yes. Let's see. Well, Chris Tucker also needs help. Sometimes, if I'm there, I'll help him with whatever he's saying. So in Rush Hour, he had to speak some Mandarin, so I taught him his Mandarin. In Rush Hour 3, he had to say "El Pollo Loco," so I was there to support him, which means the crazy chicken. It's a name of a restaurant in LA.
So you could actually. Well, I have an IMDb profile too. It wasn't a very famous movie. So can you teach me something now in Chinese?
Sure.
Okay, go
Um,
for it. Who
how
am I?
are you?
1 second. Give me a role. Who am I? What am I doing?
Oh, okay. Um, you are my lover,
Okay.
and you love me.
Oh,
Mm. So you're gonna say "我爱你,我爱你,
whoa. I need.
I love you."
Oh, wow. Actually, in Arabic, you should say ayuni. It's my eye.
Oh,
It's my eyes.
wow.
Isn't that
It
interesting?
sounds similar, doesn't it?
It's not too different at all.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so maybe I got the job. I will audition. Anyway, Tell me more. Tell me more. Um, what when you teach acting? What are you teaching them?
Well, my title is dialogue coach, and I teach the actors their dialogue. And so for Karate Kid, I was told that Jackie's role would not be that big, and could I help all the children? So that's what I did. I helped all the kids. I helped them learn English and to speak their lines convincingly.
Wow.
So the little boy, Zhen Wei Wang, um, who plays a bully, he had to be convincing as a bully. And the funny thing is, he's so sweet. He's so genuine and kind. And for him to play that role took a bit of a stretch, for him. But he got there. I think he was extremely convincing. If you watch the film, he'll scare you. Um, the love interest, her name is Wen Han. She was a bit of a wild child. And so for her to play this very calm and sweet girl took a lot of work. And it was just really rewarding to see these kids go from not speaking the language, not knowing how to act, then to be playing these roles in the film.
I guess my next question is, acting is being somebody that you're not.
Taking on characters, yes.
Okay. So do you feel that coming to America at the age of 5 from Taiwan that you became an actor at a young age?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
I'm saying that you feel that when you came from Taiwan to America at such a young age, you yourself became an actor playing an American in the soul of a young Chinese girl.
Sure. I remember not understanding anything around me, what people are saying, and then slowly having to learn that language. So it takes some time to communicate. I would say growing up in the Castro in San Francisco, in my family's restaurant, also shaped who I became. Because when you work in an environment where you have people coming in dressed up in really flamboyant costumes one day, and the next day they're the same person, but no longer dressed up, you really see this transformation of a role that they're playing.
Did your parents give you a hard time when you decided to go into this line of work?
I think they did not take it seriously and didn't think it was going to be a career that could sustain me financially. It wasn't until I worked for Jackie Chan that they suddenly was interested in what I was doing.
And that made you quite famous.
A little with my friends, families too.
So are you famous? Do people see you on the street and say, "Oh, hi, how are you? We know you"?
That has rarely happened. However, when I was filming with Jackie in Germany for the film Around the World in 80 Days, when people were screaming out Jackie's name, they were screaming out my name too, which really surprised me. I had just had a baby and I brought my baby to Germany and they said, "How's your baby?" I'm like, how do they know? But apparently Jackie's fans know everything about his circle. They know who works for him. They know who's teaching him English, and they read all the credits. So I was recognized.
That's incredible.
Mm.
So there must be a lesson here, because I've never interviewed anybody that had such a weird turn of events, and something so incredible happened within this hour that you don't even think went very well, and it kind of changed your life, didn't it?
It certainly did. I'm wearing a jacket now that is a present from Jackie.
Wow.
You see it? Every project that we work on, he gives gifts to the crew. he doesn't just give it to the people close to him, he gives it to the entire crew. So he spends a lot of money making a lot of people happy on every film that we work on.
Okay, but he comes across as a bit of a tough dude. Is he a tough dude? You're freezing, so I can answer that question. I have no idea what the answer is, but we'll wait a second. I'm sure you're going to answer. Diana, you're frozen on me. Oy vey. Shall I sing the song?
Oh, can
Here
you
you
hear
are.
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I freeze on you too?
Yes.
We froze on each other?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So I said that he comes across sometimes as a very tough dude. Is he a tough dude?
Let's just say I had not seen that many films that he was in, but based on what I saw, I was expecting to see a man who was always joking around and having fun, and that was not the man I saw on Rush Hour. There were moments of that, but overall, he's a very serious person.
Okay.
And when it comes to action, he gets pretty intense. Uh, and like I said, during our interview, he's very blunt, right? And that's the way he is. He will not hold back. He does not restrain himself when he communicates. And maybe is his culture, maybe it's his background, but I had to learn to have a very thick skin and not to take anything personally.
Okay. So this is a very a good piece of advice for somebody who works with very famous people. And you've frozen, so I guess I've frozen. So I guess my next question to you is what lessons do you want to tell in my audience, especially young people, going forward with all your experience?
I would say that I have learned to always be true to yourself, and no matter who you work with, no matter how they behave, you have to remind yourself that it's not always personal, and that people behave according to their life experience, which has nothing to do with you. And so when you interact with people who may not be nice to you, um, or are rude or dismissive, remember that there's a lot going on behind the facade. And everyone has a good day and a bad day. And when you work on a film, anytime, anywhere from like 2 months to 7 months, you're going to see a lot of good and bad behavior. And you just have to, like I said, accept that people are different, and people are going to, are going to, um, are struggling too. People are struggling too. And everyone's carrying baggage from a traumatic past.
No, but is this something that you learned or something inbred in your culture, in your family, to suffer people? I mean, suffer them in a way of being able to abide with their behavior, which is sometimes not very good. Hmm. Maybe that was the wrong question. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out when we do the viewing afterwards. I have no idea whether anybody's listening to me now. Diana, are you there? Oy vey. That's not a good sign. Diana, come back. Come back. Hmm. So, here you are. You're back.
Hi.
I was singing and dancing in the meantime.
Yay.
So is your ability to suffer difficult people something that you developed? Were you born with this quality? It seems to be important if you want to work with important or famous people, you have to be willing to suffer them.
I would say that growing up in a restaurant really prepared me for the outside world because we had chefs come and go, we had staff come and go, and sometimes they were really unpleasant. And I would still have to work with them because it's my family's restaurant. I've had cooks threaten to hurt me with hot, pans, um, or hot oil even. And, I just had to learn to put up with it.
So
And
it's
yeah,
so you're
so I think a part of it is, understanding that the world is made up of all kinds of people, and you're going to see good people and bad people, and you have to learn to deal with them accordingly.
and but sometimes there's good people that behave badly.
Yes, definitely that. Definitely that.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I always ask. So there's two things before I want to take you on your Beatles tour. Your name Diana, is that the name you were born with in Taiwan?
No, my Chinese name is Jia Qian Ong.
Ja Chin O.
Jia Qian Ong.
Ja Chin O
Ong is my last name.
Ong. Ah, Ong, not Weng, but Ong. That's going to be a little hard for white American Protestants to enunciate.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. And what projects are you working on? What haven't you done? You're such a spunky lady.
These days, I'm busy with 3 kids. So that takes up a lot of my time because they're very active in their school activities and teams and sports. But because I know so many people in the entertainment business, people often reach out to me for advice, or they reach out to me for connections. So I connect people. I bring together people to work on projects. I have, connected friends to work on projects like Mortal Kombat, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, commercials, documentaries. So I'm always helping people.
That's very kind. Is this part of like your mantra? Is help, help, and help?
Yes, yes. I've always been this way. It started in high school when I was matchmaking 50 friends who didn't have dates for various dances. And then from there, when I became an actor, I would always help people get work. And with Gino, for example, I brought Gino in to help out on a project I was working in. I was in a play. We needed original music, and I met him, and he was a musician. So
I'm a musician.
I know if I think of something, you'll be on board.
Okay, so yeah, get me on board one of these days. Or I'm also somebody who likes to help people if I can,
I can tell that.
and if I'm in a good mood, which I am now. So if there's any way that I can help you, you let me know.
Thank you. Thank you. Will do.
And now we come to the Beatles.
Yay. I have a song picked out.
About the Beatles.
I love them. I love them.
You did the.
I totally
going to
did.
ask you.
I knew.
You do research.
Yes, I did.
Go ahead. You.
You ready for my song?
Tell me how much you like the Beatles.
I love them. I love them because when we had a restaurant, our radio was turned on all day long. So I learned to appreciate all musicians, and Beatles was one of them.
So, what is your favorite Beatles song? If you can hear.
Would you consider Imagine a Beatles song?
It's like it's borderline.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
if you're going to sing it, I'll consider it.
Okay, I'll sing it. Ready? Yes? Okay.
And then I'll tell you a story.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll tell you now.
Okay.
my my late mother died. Her birthday was 3 days ago. She would have been 92, and
Um,
I made her an ebook with her favorite songs. And my siblings just told me that she loved the song Imagine. So I put it in the ebook, and now you're bringing it up. And tomorrow's my late father's birthday.
oh.
He didn't like the Beatles. I don't think he did. But go ahead.
Okay,
Are you going to play it or just sing it a cappella?
just sing it. Yes, a
The
little
best.
bit of it.
The best.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So isn't it a crazy, wonderful world where we can meet over something
Absolutely. My
thousands
honor and pleasure to meet you.
mine, and I do hope we stay in touch. And when you have your podcast, I want to be a guest, and you can't hear me, but I'm still speaking. So maybe everybody else can hear me except you. Tell me when you can hear me. Mary had a little lamb. Her fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, you still can't hear me though.
I can
Now,
hear you now.
okay, great. I just recited a very important Elizabethan poem. Um,
Ooh.
no, Mary had a little lamb. Um, so one thing I didn't ask you is your name is Diana, and you have a daughter whose name is Elizabeth. Do you want to talk about that, perhaps?
um, my name is Diana. My husband's name is Bryant. Our first child is Aaron. Our second child is Christian. And so when we had the third child, we knew that we had an A, B, C, D in our names, and we needed an E. My niece, her name is also Elizabeth, and it's a beautiful name. So we decided to name her Elizabeth.
I mean, it is very interesting, a family with an Elizabeth and a Diana. So listen, it was a great joy to have you on the show.
Thank
Um,
you.
is there anything that you'd like to say? Any questions I haven't asked you? Now's the time.
Hmm. Let's see. What else can I tell you? I can just share with you that if you're interested in a career in entertainment, if you want to become an actor, um, it's a wonderful career because you get to bring characters to life and you bring life to words. I was an English literature major. I enjoyed reading and writing, but there's something really exciting about breathing life into those words. And that's what actors do. Whether it be a poem or a story or a play or a film, that's what actors are doing. And so it's a wonderful and satisfying career if you ever want to give it a go.
I love it. Breathing life into words. I love that. Uh, I don't know whether that's going to be my next career, but
You never know.
yeah, no, I'm unemployed and I'm willing to try anything, you know.
Then it's time to try it.
I was a priest in a vampire, in a zombie movie.
Ooh.
So once in a while, I am prepared to go outside my comfort zone. So your agent can speak to my agent.
We'll do. We'll do.
This was incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're Hollywood royalty. It was wonderful to have you on You Got Mel, Diana Weng.
It was my
Stay
honor.
well and
Thank
do
you.
more and more amazing things, dear.
Awesome. Yay.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Mel.